In Iraq, it's done what? The use of force?
I think Iraq right now is, as I see it, it's a total mess. I hope we will be able to put the situation in Iraq together.
You'd call it civil war?
I don't know what I call it. I'm not a close observer of what's happening, but as I said, I was told today there's at least an average of 50 people who die every day. That is 50 people too many, every single day, Tim. So, we need to learn our lessons. We need to know durable solutions cannot be through armed force.
So what you're saying is the price so far that Iraq has paid for getting rid of Saddam Hussein is too high. In your view, it's too high.
I think Saddam Hussein was a ruthless dictator, nobody questioned. But
that wasn't my question.
I think I would have liked to see Saddam Hussein removal without the sacrifice of tens of thousands of innocent civilians. Absolutely.
Too high a price, then?
I think so. Yeah.
When we last met, towards the end of 2004, you said that you felt the situation in the Middle East in general was unsustainable, that we could be moving towards a catastrophe. Is this what's happened in Iraq, the catastrophe that you envisaged, or do you see even worse things on the horizon?
I see a Middle East that is really in a very dangerous situation. It's at a cross point. Either we will be able to catch up with the rest of the world, or we will slide back. And I see the extremism that is taking place in the Arab world, which is not the way we go. I think we need to work with the broad, moderate majority, and that this broad, moderate majority is taking the back seat right now. It's extremism which is taking the front seat. We need to change that. We need to change that both by taking internal action, by better governance, by freedom, spreading of freedom, by democracy. But we also need to take external action by making sure that these centuries-old conflict, like the Palestinian conflict, is coming to an end, like the Iraq situation, like the Kashmir situation. I mean, there's a lot of frustration in the Arab world, if I should say, in the Muslim world, Tim. There is a situation of despair and ultimately humiliation. It is not poverty that drives this extremism, as I have come to realize. It's really the sense of humiliation. And I think many people are getting it both ways, are getting it on the hand of their own governments, the repression, the abuse of human rights, and they're getting it from the outside world, the feeling that they are not being treated by the same standard that it should apply everywhere else. So there's a lot that needs to be changed, and the sooner we change it, the better off we are.
All right, we have a lot of questions from the audience. Let's take the first one, if we may, from Leila Siddiqui.
My question follows with what you said earlier. Do you believe that America, Britain, and France would be justified if they were to punish Iran for its uranium enrichment program?
Laila, I don't think it's a question of punishment. And I hope I hear from everywhere I go that the whole idea is not to punish Iran. Nobody has the right to punish Iran for enrichment. I think what we are really talking about is we need to encourage Iran to continue to work to build confidence. It's not a question of punishment. It's a question of distrusting the future intention based on present behavior. And the more Iran clarifies the present, the more it's in a better situation to regulate the future with Europe, with the United States, with the rest of the world. So I don't like to talk about punishment. I'm not in the punishment business. I don't think the Security Council is talking about punishment right now. I think Security Council is saying...
That's in the background, though, isn't it?
Well, diplomacy always has to be backed by pressure, if you like. I mean, that's part of the role of the international security system. But people forget that the primary role of the Security Council is to peaceful settlement of disputes. Chapter 7 of the Charter. It's only when you can't do it. It's only when there is a breach of the peace, threat to the peace, act of aggression. It's only when then you start talking about enforcement measures, sanction, use of force. But sanction use of force could only be resorted to when it is the last and best option available, and we are still very far away from that.
Do you think Iran needs to be punished? You asked the question.
No, not at all.
No, Laila, I don't think, again, in fairness to the Security Council, I'm not talking about individual member, in fairness to the Security Council is telling Iran, we recognize your right. Nobody's questioned their right. These are rights they have under the Non-Proliferation Treaty. But they are basically saying, until you build confidence, because of your past behavior, because we still have issues that has not been clarified, please exercise restraint, if you like. They all recognize that Iran's suspension of enrichment uranium is non-legally binding voluntary measure. And if you see all the resolution by the IAEA Board of Governors, they do not say, we'll take away your right. We'll simply say, well, we need first to make sure that you are in a position to exercise that right without presenting or posing a threat to the rest of the international community. If you like, I mean, I can make the analogy. I mean, they basically say, show us, that you are able to exercise that right without, in a peaceful manner, and then we'll let you drive the car, So make sure that you prove that you are able to drive the car, and if you prove that to us and you are not presenting by that program any threat to the pedestrian, then we'll allow you to do it. But nobody can take the right from Iran, and I don't think anybody is talking about that.
All right, a question from Sarah Khorasani, please.
Apart